Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Ultraverse Solitaire issue number 3 from Malibu Comics. I like Solitaire. I think the character is cool. Not a big fan of his color, costume, or even some parts of the design. But overall, the character itself, I like that very much. He is a blend of Batman, Punisher, and Bloodshot. And I like that combination. I also love the covers so far. I mean, there's only 3 issues in, but all the covers are, are action-packed, if you will. He's jumping, he's shooting, he is, like here, close-up, running towards people, killing them or defending them. It looks just cool, just like just like an action movie from the 90s or the 80s. I like that part a lot. So we have also a different artist in here, and I have something to say about that. I'm not sure. Well, let's stop talking. Let's dive in because I have a lot to talk about. Anyway, we see here on the streets on Venice Beach, there is a woman here selling, goods, and there's a monkey with her, and there's also people like this guy. Looking at her, and he says to his friend, hey, she's a good-looking woman. I know she wants me. So he goes up to her and flirts with her, and he says, I used to go with a girl who dressed just like you. And she says, is that so? I heard that. So, no, well, maybe you like to speak with me alone. Like to speak with me alone. And she says, yeah, sure, man. Sure, I got an hour. And then she lures him, well, that's because that's happening, into a room, and then suddenly he is in chains. And then he says, or she says, you think you can betray our church? And he says, well, I think you got me mixed up with somebody else. And he says, my God makes no mistakes. And then he is, I guess, getting killed by a big monkey or a monkey. And that's the beginning of the story. So we go to Solitaire. Solitaire is, entering a house of a guy. It's called Jimmy the Geek, and Jimmy the Geek is working for him because Solitaire, I didn't know that at first, but he has a couple of guys spread through the city that are his informants, his spies, his associates. So he has a network of people. And I always thought to myself, how does he do that? I mean, did he pay that? Did he bribe them? Did he rescue those people that they are in his debt or something? I have no idea. But in this issue, we're getting the explanation. So Jimmy is fooling around with explosive because that's his thing, and then we go back. Solitaire says, Jimmy, we had a deal. I protect you from Anton Loan. You collect info from me. And now you stay out of the explosive business. So we go back in time when a guy called Nicholas Loan, 14 years old, he is a son of a rich guy. And then suddenly he sees Jimmy planting explosives somewhere, and Jimmy explains that, well, being caught, he said, hey, you don't need to be here. You need to go away and then Jimmy explains that he is hired by Nicholas's father, Anton, and that his father is blowing up his own properties for insurance money. And that's how he's getting a lot of profit. But Nicholas didn't know that. So Nicholas confronts his father, but then his father says, on the docks of Istanbul, where I began my fortune, they said, what blood is on the father's hands is on the son's. Will you turn your back on your life? Will you smear your father in public? Will you live in isolation, outcast from the world? If you so, do it now, boy, and do it right now. Or shut your mouth and be a man. So Nicholas said nothing because he couldn't do nothing. But Nicholas is not a stupid boy. He keeps track on what his father is doing. He uses his father's wealth to buy him, let's say, eyes on the insides, so that he's gonna stop the explosives and he's gonna tip off people and the police, so that there is no innocent people who are getting killed, and that worked. So he's using his father's money to buy information and weave a network of spies within the organization. And then he also used a code, his not his real name, and that is Solitaire. So I didn't know that this boy, when I read this book, is Nicholas Anton. I'm Nicholas Lone. So he is Solitaire when he grows up. And he also protected Jimmy from, getting killed, because his father has figured out that he is a snitch. And so he made a deal with him to keep his mouth shut. And he also wants the information of what happened in the last issue, in issue 2, when he is being, about the Moon Man, when he, wants to blow up stuff, and why he is getting followed and shot at by his father's bodyguards called Jim. But Jimmy says, I don't know. The only thing that I know, that when it comes to explosives and arms, that there was something off. He knows that arms dealers are in town, and they are. I said, there is something weird about that. And Solitaire says, what? He says, they were black. And he says, what does that matter? Well, he says, I see gun runs by Israelis, Arabs, Swiss, Koreans, and white Americans, and a bunch else, but never by the brothers. Okay, so I didn't know that. Not sure if this, pure fantasy, or that is also from that time in the 90s real or not. So I'm going to look up real quick something. We're going to go back. Okay, I'm going to tell you something about the whole thing here. So he leaves, and he throws that very explosive at him, and he's going away. So going back a little bit about the art, I'm not really against it, but I don't like it either. It's okay. This guy is probably for, I don't know, maybe a filler or something, and then the the artist that I like will come back later. So this guy, who was the friend of the guy that disappeared from the beginning, reads in the paper that Venice man killed by animal bites. So he knows that something going on, and then he knows that he is next because he is affiliated with that guy. So he hears a growl, and there is monkeys, and he shoots the monkeys, and then, this is a giant, what's they call the mandrill? Is that how they say it? And well, he's a gunner too. So this continues for a while, and then we see Solitaire in his civilian, identity, goes to downtown to Venice or somewhere, and he meets with this guy, and he says, "Do you sell the souls of Blackfall?" "Yeah, I got that. Unless, of course, you're looking for a rare first edition." I said, "Hey, follow me." And it seems that this guy is one of the informants or spies of Solitaire. So he wants to know what's going on, and that he knows about the disappearance and the murders that's going on. And then this guy says that he was in the Black Panthers. And I like that reference because it's the whole thing that I like about Solitaire is not that it's set in realism, although it's in realistic setting, but also the grittiness. And so I looked it up because I know who the Black Panthers were, because they were a real-life militant Afro-American political organization raised in Oakland or something like that in the United States around 1966, and called the BPP. Now, I don't know what the whole deal was with the Black Panther Party. I'm not going into that. You can look it on the internet. There's a whole article on Wikipedia or on the internet. You can look it for yourself. But I like there's some real life reference in here that he was part of the organization, that he was a bank robber, and then when he did this time, he got out and then he went clean. but he also know that I'm not doing it, going into smuggling, but he knows that there are some black people dealing in arms. So so Solitaire finds out that there's also a new group coming into town with a bunch of monkeys, and this informant says, yeah, there's a couple of old lady spiritual advisors who used to advertise on my community billboard just to close up shop and moved out. And the rumor is there's some religious group moving in, and they hassle people with their trained monkey, but also that they are probably responsible for the deaths and the disappearance of certain people. So Solitaire is going to look into that, and then he sees at night when he's going onto the rooftops, there's a group of people going into a building, and there he sees a body with blood because more people are disappearing, and so he jumps down, but he is also being followed by monkeys, so that's cool. And then we see this girl who is also being sacrificed, if you will, and that all these servants says, you have brought evil to our order, you have stained the pelt of the gods, and only a bath of your blood can clean them. So Solitaire comes in, but not before this mysterious person comes out and says that these group of people that have died, and that the woman that lies there said, in trying to help her boyfriend sell our nuclear armaments to other parties, this errant sister has compromised our sacred movement, and she has to be killed. I thought it was only, arms, like guns and automatic weapons, pistols, grenades, maybe something like that. But she talks about nuclear stuff. Okay, I missed that part probably. But so Solitaire bursts in and it says, infidel, kill him. And then they are going to shoot at him. And but not before we see who this person really is, and it's now called the Monkey Woman. And there's a monkey growing out of her back. Looks really cool. I said something about that. I don't like the artist, but looks really, really, really nice. So Solitaire gets shot, and he's getting shot real good. And he said, hey, go out and see if he's dead. So, but as we all know, Solitaire is, well, he's not unkillable, but he is hard to kill. And so he's, getting attacked also by other monkeys, and also, killing, Solitaire is killing all these, members of the Monkey Woman cult, if you will. And then he is getting, hauled or being tied up at some kind of a pole. And then this Monkey Woman says, well, I can see that you are, she sees that he's healing, and she has a good idea who made him this way, but she's not going to tell him. She said, but she wants to find out if some people will, let's say, rip him limb from limb, if they're going to then the limbs is going to regenerate or not. So, and then she says, summon him, she says. I smell the fear in this room. And said, have you ever seen a gorilla on close, dear infidel? And then Solitaire says, yeah. Is that you're trying to scare me because he knows that gorillas are shy, they eat leaves, and never live up to the reputation for savage. Well, that's true, she says. That is the case in the wild. But this monkey or gorilla is now raised in civilization. And this is the preview from Nightman. That's not what I wanted to show you. So, and then she says, but it's amazing what civilization can do to a fellow. That's actually accurate. And then we see a giant, good-looking, awesome freaking gorilla with claws bathed in blood. And that leads into the next issue. I'm really stoked for this series. I'm a big fan of Solitaire. I'm not sure if the other comics will live up to the, to expectations or to the hype that I'm, trying to build here. But we'll see, guys. Brings us to the end of the video. Solid issue, cool cover. Let's leave it here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.